So today I felt like talking about the Universe Senshi or the Universe Warriors. These guys.
Versus Super Sentai!
And why I think this concept in general is one of the coolest things since the AR Riders from Kamen Rider Decade. And while I love the idea of the AR Riders in Kamen Rider Decade, I feel like Gozyuger just does something a bit different with these characters, and I'll explain why. So the Universe Warriors are a collection of past Sentai Reds, well, people who take on the appearance of the past Sentai Reds when they transform with their own unique Sentai ring, as well as a silver Sword instead of a golden Sword that is unique to the Gozyugers. They can also use abilities of the other Sentai Reds as well. The more rings that they have, the more abilities they have use for. For example, Tokonatsu, the Prime Minister, can still use Damo Motaro's Zanglass Sword, but he can also use the Time Freeze ability of Time Ranger, as well as a more unique ability that isn't really seen in Bokenger, but is applicable to the said ring. Now, I hate to kind of say this about Decade and the concept of the AR Riders, because Decade did do this concept first. But I think Decade was kind of, at the time, just doing this sort of concept for fun, because Decade was meant to be a shorter series, so they only had 2 episodes to really get 10 riders out of the way, minus, we won't talk about the other 12 episodes. While I love those episodes, at that point, he was just kind of randomly traveling through the worlds after he got his final form. But I feel like the Universe Warriors actually matter in Gozyuger because they are competitors in the ring battle. So whenever the Gozyugers, one of them wins a battle against the Universe Senshi, they get the ring, they get closer to getting their wish, which calls into question, does Take a Sword actually have the power to, grant wishes, or is he just bluffing and he's just using all these people for a different purpose? That's a theory for a whole nother day. But what I'm saying is that there are at least 2 episodes at a time where Universe Senshi gets their time to shine. The first part of the series was a little rough because we only got introduced to a couple of them and they didn't really do much aside from show up a bit and then get their powers taken away and then they move on with their lives. But it feels like ever since the Universe Senshi Gao Red episodes, they've become way more relevant to the story and way more relevant to the Gozyuger's development as characters. And that's something the AR writers and Kamen Rider Decade only scratched the surface of. And I feel like the longer we go, especially with, recent events in Gozyuger, I feel like this concept is just going to expand more and more throughout the series until the end. But yeah, that's why I like the Universe Warriors and Gozyuger. I think they're really cool. One day I hope to talk about them more.